we'll start with the dollar, which didn't see that much momentum. We were a little bit bullish, but it's not like price exploded after the Fed interest rate. We did see a bit of upside momentum, but it's almost like it didn't happen really. We were talking about this area here a lot coming into the week. I said this is a very interesting level because if price does hold this, we could probably just push back to lows and just continue that kind of overall bearish trend we have for the dollar. I haven't really been interested in shorting the dollar for a couple of reasons. The market has been bearish since the start of the year, so we have been quite overstretched. The market's quite oversold at the moment, and the last bearish leg we saw was very corrective. It's not like the previous bearish leg like this one, which had a lot of momentum to it. This one was very corrective and really lacked momentum, and basically just failed at the lows. Really, we didn't really have a sustained push below them. A lot of wicks collected there, so not only was price corrective, didn't really see much power in breaking through the lows. Not that we can't potentially go and do that now, of course we can, but it's just not something I would be keen to sell. Market's quite oversold, we're running out of momentum, not really something you want to be looking to sell as a swing trade. Of course, day trading, you can get away with it, hold a trade for the day, be in and out of the market. If you're looking to hold a trade for a few days or maybe even a week or two, not the best place to position yourself if you're looking to short this. You want to see a much bigger pullback, then potentially some shorts later on. I'm actually quite interested in long still with the dollar if we can break past the highs here. I still want to see a bit more momentum. We had a nice push initially here, looking a little bit slow now. Potentially might see price come back to retest, but if we can break the highs here with some strength, then that will give me the confidence to go and potentially long the USD, maybe short pound USD or short Aussie dollar. We'll speak on the other USD pairs in a moment, but there is definitely upside here for USD CAD if we do take out the highs. So that's really what I'm waiting for as someone looking to buy. At the moment, we're coming back into an area of supply. Might see a push back down. We did break and retest this zone here yesterday. Solid support, resistance. We broke above that, used that support again. Had a bit of a rally from that. So if we do push down, I think this could be a nice place for a buy in the lower time frames if we can respect it again and see some upside from then onwards. So yeah, USD, I do think more upside is likely for this one. So I'm getting kind of ready, geared up for that. Not quite any entries just yet, but I am looking for price to push through and then hopefully some longs shortly afterwards. Taking a look at EURUSD, this one still is just about hanging on to support right now. We've got resistance here, which of course is acting as support. It's been slowing down the market quite well. Again, EURUSD is kind of a similar case to the DXY in terms of we've been bullish for a while. Price has been trending since pretty much the start of the year, pretty aggressively too. So it's been a pretty nice trend to the upside for Euro. But as of late, we've slowed down. Just about took out the highs, but didn't really sustain it. And you can see the last bullish move has been quite corrective, exactly what the dollar has been doing as well. So for those two reasons, not really keen on buying EURUSD either. Again, I do think some sales could come around and could provide some really nice opportunities. I think that's where the bigger move might lie there for Euro. So similar to the dollar, I'm looking for us to take out some of these lows. The market's been very consistent with the higher lows. I'm looking to see if we can go and break through that consistency, and hopefully find a retest somewhere for a lower high and some shorts. So I am interested in EURUSD to the downside. At the moment, it's still just about holding on to support, and there could still be a rally to the upside here. I'm looking at the hourly chart for entry confirmations. I'll say we're still quite flat right now. I did speak about the double bottom there yesterday, but didn't really provide much support. I think if you could see a strong push to the upside, maybe a strong close like that, that might be a nice entry signal on the lower time frames. But yeah, it's still narrow support, still an area where price could potentially push higher. I'm just not personally interested, more keen on the selling opportunities. Pound USD, we did see a bit of a push to the downside for this one this week. I wouldn't say we've quite cleared the lows yet. Looks like we are sort of doing that, but I would say support is still just about holding here. Again, I'm not really interested in taking pound USD to the upside either. Same reasons really as Euro. Price has been trending for a while. We're struggling above the highs here. We're running out momentum. You can see how corrective we've been ever since we did break through the high. And then we've been failing at these highs quite a lot as well. So basically just forming a bit of a consolidation. So I'm actually looking to see if pound can break to the downside and then look for some shorts after that. And that would be an opportunity which I would like to take because not only are we back below key resistance, we're also breaking structural, breaking out that consolidation, hopefully with some decent momentum. And I would expect to see a lower higher form in what could look like a bit of a head and shoulder pattern. So going left, head, right shoulder, and that could be a very nice shorting opportunity. So I like pound USD to the downside. The market's quite tired. We've seen some momentum come into the market as well. Just need to see if we can break through the floor here at 1.341. If we can break through that well, see some decent momentum, then the retest does become a very nice opportunity. And that's really what I'll be focusing on for pound USD for the remainder of the week and going into next week as well. So yeah, pound USD looking for selling opportunities, still just about holding on to support, so not quite there yet. But again, not keen to take the buys. I don't think the market has had a nice pullback, especially when we've had a very corrective move up and an impulse down. Not really characteristics I want to see of a pullback. I want to see an impulse up and a corrective move down. We've literally done the opposite. So not really what I want to see as a buyer. Dollar CAD, nice push to the upside. I am looking for buying opportunities here with dollar CAD. Very nice reaction early in the week. Now I'm just looking for opportunities to find a buy, whether it's going to be an equal low or a higher low is yet to be seen. I was looking to see if we can push to the downside yesterday for a double bottom and then a long. We've continued to the upside. We've come back into this area of resistance here. So possibly I might have to be looking for a bit more of a higher low. We might not come back to revisit this low, although I will definitely keep an eye on that because if we do, that would be a much better place for an entry. But a higher low is looking a little bit more likely at this point in time. But again, the long situation comes from the higher time frames for dollar CAD. Very much a similar situation to what we just spoke about with euro and pound. Market's been falling for quite a while. We're quite stretched right now. We're becoming quite corrective as well. We've seen a very strong initial reaction there for dollar CAD. So I do think we can see some upside. I'm not saying a reversal necessarily. We might just pull back and then form a lower high later on and then come back down. But in these areas, I'm not really interested in to short the market. More interested in trying to capitalize on those counter trend buys. Then maybe we can look to short it at a later date when we start approaching some of these highs. But in these areas, 1.36, I am looking to buy. Aussie dollar has been looking a little bit bearish. Aussie itself, NZD itself have been looking very bearish, especially NZD. But it's the same old story here with Aussie dollar, just very corrective in nature. So looking to short the market. I've talked about push to the upper end of the channel, which is really where I want to be looking to enter shorts myself. I'm not so concerned about the level here. I can see prices doing a pretty good job, in fairness, to respect resistance here. But we're trading within the middle of this channel, so I don't really want to be operating and finding entries there, especially when there's a lot of equal highs here. And the chance of price running the highs and then pushing down, I would say is quite high. So this is really where I want to find my entries, back at fresh kind of territory at the upper end of the channel. And it'll give me the best place to position myself for a short in terms of capitalize on a swing back to the low end of the channel and maybe capitalize on a breakout. Now, of course, price may just respect resistance and fall from there. That could be the case. I'm not really willing to find any entries here. It's just too congested. And you can see the dotted middle line there through the channel. That's just not an area which I want to operate in either. So yeah, Aussie dollar, been waiting for a push to the upper end. Will we get it? I have no idea. Maybe not looking so likely right now, but that would be my preferred zone for a sell, especially because we're coming right back into the low of the channel right now anyway. So that's not really where I want to position myself short. But I do think Aussie dollar is likely to break lower. So if we don't get that opportunity, there might be some breakout opportunities or some retest after the breakout. So you might want to consider that for Aussie dollar. But I am looking at a push lower here for this pair. New Zealand dollar, literally the same situation as well. In fact, I think this one's actually made a breakout. So NZD USD is a little bit more progressed than Aussie dollar. NZD has been quite weak. Strong push to the downside. Price is back below this key level here as well. Maybe not the biggest breakout in the world. We are starting to form some wicks here to the downside, so losing momentum. But the key thing is we're outside this channel, and I do think price can push a lot lower. So I do think as the USD likely to push. I'm looking at a push back into the low here at 0.58500. So I'm pretty bearish here for New Zealand dollar. Strong break of the channel. As long as we don't climb back above this zone here, I do think we are likely to experience more downside. Yeah, I would be experiencing more downside. It could be even a big double top prices forming as well, with a slight kind of fake out to it. But we've been very, very corrective. You can see how price has been moving. Not the signs of a healthy trending market, which is the key reason why I haven't been looking to buy it. A market trending like that is not a market which screams buys. It's a market that screams it's about to run out of steam and could be looking at a bit of a drop pretty soon. And it looks like we've had one. So now they've broken through support. I would like to see price push down a little bit further before looking for retest. But if we can do that, that would be brilliant. And we can probably look for the retest of the prior low. That could be a nice place to short the market into. And you've got numerous levels to choose from in terms of targets. It doesn't have to be the low all the way down there, but there's multiple targets, multiple levels you can consider. In terms of gold, so gold's been a little bit still looking to buy it. Still think there's more upside to be had. Of course, USD being a bit strong maybe is a bit awkward for USD. Of course, they are technically inversely correlated, although sometimes that does go out the window and sometimes they're positively correlated. So I don't tend to trust the DXY too much when it comes to the gold price action. But gold for now is still giving me higher highs and higher lows. I can still see clear structure there to the upside. We broke out of this channel not too long ago, had a successful retest over there, and we've seen a pretty nice rally to the upside. So it looks like this level's not really acting as resistance or support as I was looking for it to. It looks like it's more so this area which is going to be acting as support. We've got the trend line running through the market there as well, which looks like we kind of already had a test of as well. So what I'm looking for now is still a relatively strong close for gold, just back above all the noise really, as I was describing yesterday. We've got a nice wick to the downside this morning. I quite like that wick as well, to be honest, because we've got a lot of noise here with the consolidation. Potentially that wick would have stopped out some early buyers, maybe dragged in some sellers at the lows here as well. So if I can see a strong shift, I think that'll be a very nice entry signal. Targets back into the swing high and then back into the all-time high at 3,500. So gold is starting to shape up. Possibly a higher low has been printed in with that wick. We'll see if we get that momentum, but yeah, very, very bullish on gold. And for silver, very bullish on this one as well. Looking for a lot more upsides. Again, I've spoken about the retest of this area. Still an area I'm interested in. I also spoke about the retest of this area, and I'm kind of debating. I want the price to push up a little bit further. As I was talking about yesterday, we had a very nice breakout, but I want the price to kind of clear the highs a little bit further, see a bit more momentum, because as soon as we did clear the highs, we left a big wick. Then this candle kind of filled the wick, and then we just lacked momentum afterwards. So the breakout wasn't as good as it could be. If this candle maybe closed strongly at the highs, maybe I'll be a bit more inclined to find some buys. But it was a very corrective move to the upside, and you can see that a little bit more with the hourly chart. Nice push there, but then we lost momentum afterwards. So yeah, maybe if we see some really solid rejections here, I might look for some entries. If not, I might just wait for a retest of 35. I'll keep an eye out on this zone. I think gold looks a lot better anyway, so I think I'll just focus a bit more on gold. If this doesn't hold, then that 35 zone will look good. But maybe we start to consolidate and maybe we see a nice shift. That could happen.